Any questions you have? Did you want to do your presentation on the, what's it called?
The
Field observation.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because is it already in D2Ls? I could just pull it up there.
Mm.
Okay. Or any questions about the final? I'm hoping it's self-explanatory, but it might not be. It's a self-assessment, so it just asks questions about like you and how you're preparing yourself in the field, how you do self-care, what led you to want to do work with other people, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not is kind of a softball. I'm not going to lie, but it's intro to social work. What else can you know what I mean? Like we're not doing qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis like you do in what's the class you have to do that in? Probably stats for quantitative, and then they've got
Research methods?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there is the final self-assessment. I actually should just hit back. Let's see if. So it has all these questions if it will come up. Final self-assessment, and then is that too small though? It's like you're doing a self-examination.
Mm-hmm.
I do say social workers in training, but it applies to psychology, counseling, sociology. Suggest that we reflect on ourselves and have the inner dialogue. So there's a long paragraph to introduce you, but here's the question. So you just answer them like, how do I assess my developmental history? Making sure it's in here. Somebody's online. I gotta say hi. What are my 5 best qualities? What are my areas of my life I need to improve? If an interviewer asks me my basic philosophy of life, what is it? So you can just go down paragraph form if you want, citations if you want, things of that. Just how do I respond to those who are different from me? Am I open to diversity? What role do religion, culture, ethics, gender, sexual orientation play in my view of life? Who are my heroes? What are my personal goals and objectives? How do I cope? So obviously their answers only you know, and that's kind of where it goes. What would my best friend say about me? And then, am I open to my own potential needs for counseling? Or are my spiritual beliefs? And it goes on to professional then. So what do I expect from clients? What do I expect from my profession? Do I anticipate getting from colleagues? What are my professional strengths and weaknesses? I don't know why they're all labeled number 1, but that is it. So it's supposed to be self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, I shouldn't have gone back. Just going to get mad at me. Do you have that like double sign-on thing? They text you and stuff.
Yeah.
So are you in? How do you spell your last name?
SHER.
That's it. Okay. Perfect. So I can actually probably just download too. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Nice. Where'd you go for yours? Was it in anywhere fun?
I went to a nature reserve.
Oh, you did? Okay. I feel like you were asking how is that? I'm like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, cool. You can come up if you're okay coming up here, and then you're welcome to any snacks if you want some. I have more in the office because we got a food pantry. But then prepare yourself for working with other people. Different.
And I can just press this to change the slides.
I think so. I think it's just like down. Yes. Oh, cool.
So I did the Narrows Reserve. It's located in Xenia, Ohio, in Upper Bellbrook. Predominantly white neighborhood community. They have plenty trails. You can go and canoe. People take their families out there. Canoeing the Miami River.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Communication, it was very rare. Sometimes we'd walk past people, they'd speak. Other times they just smile. Sometimes they just don't even look your way. But I didn't really feel like the racial minority. I feel like people were just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Some were friendly, not, like I said, not necessarily rude. No one was really rude that we encountered, or that I encountered, because I went with one of my friends. Body language, sometimes it would feel like I would make them uncomfortable just by their body movement, or sometimes they'll kind of like scoot over a little bit, or when we walk past them, they'll just be quiet.
People are trying to be alone.
Yeah.
Just like,
And avoidance and direct eye contact.
right.
Personal experience, I had anxiety at times for being in a community I'm not usually being around, especially in predominantly white neighborhood. I never know what's going to happen, never know what to expect. Like I said, it was welcoming, but I still did feel out of place because, like I said, I'm not used to being in that environment. My reactions when people spoke to us, like it was this one lady, I was walking and it was a black snake, and she was conversating with us like, oh, we had stopped because it was a black snake, and had a little conversation. It was nice. I was surprised when people spoke. I didn't think anyone was going to talk to us. And sometimes I did wonder why people wouldn't speak, because for me, like speaking to someone is like pretty big. Like it's just a form of respect. But yeah, overall the experience was 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It helped me learn that despite being the racial minority in a specific location, it never means it'll be the exact same experience everywhere.
True. Very true. Yeah, so we could like drive here. It's that close. And, that way.
Yes, that way. Yep.
I
You
would
go
have
into
to orient
town.
myself. Okay. Huh.
What trail was it again?
Nails Reserve. Yeah.
I need to go. Is it in walking distance?
That could be. If you like to walk 3 miles.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, I
walk
mean, it
just
could
to
be if you like to
walk
walk.
there just to go for a walk. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we had somebody hit on that road, so that's why it's scary. Like crossing the street on their bike. Was that this year or last year?
I think that was last year.
I don't remember if they were hurt or.
Well, I don't know which situation you're talking about, but it was like a few weeks ago. Like it was a motorcyclist, and he like literally flew over the top of a lady's car because she did not stop. It was bad.
Did they die?
No, but he was bleeding pretty bad.
Oh, so you guys saw it.
Yeah, it was bad. It was in Xenia, like right by that speedway.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
So like she just rolled the stop sign,
Yeah,
and then dude was like,
and he was still driving, and like I don't
You
even know
swerved
explain.
like a
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I guess you could swerve and also conject your body so then you fly over the car. Like you just
Yeah.
let the bike take the hit.
Yeah.
You just go, whoa.
he
that
flew
would
right
suck.
over the car, fell right on the street.
Which is better than a direct hit and you die.
Yeah,
Because you can go like 60, right? Or what's the speed? Even if you're going like 50.
I think it's 25, 35.
Through here?
Yeah, through here, I think.
Okay.
Or just like a college not count as like a school zone.
That's something else I also don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not. You're
Like
right.
adults can get hit.
No,
They're like, sorry. Well, thank you. Any questions? And then did you want to present today or Friday or? Okay. Okay.
I just feel bad because I organize mine in a different way.
It's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know
It's
which
okay.
because it said outline, but
Yeah.
I kind of did it in an
Oh,
outline
that's-
form on PowerPoint.
You have it, right?
If you turn it in, I can just pull it up. I can just hit download, right?
Mhm.
Say download. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah. I'm like,
do
that's my
have-
name.
I do have other
Yeah, put it in
snacks.
today.
So, like, it should just click. I'm hoping. That's the way we do it. So, because wait, are you guys both in the bookstore? Is that the on-call piece for the bookstore?
No, so actually I started summer camp with 4-H on campus. So yeah, it's
Do
really
they pay $300 for that? I heard one of my
Do they?
students. I'm just wondering if they're all different.
I don't know.
Because the one they described, they get to learn how to hunt and archery. And
Oh no,
shoot.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're working with like middle schoolers.
Right, to little kids.
Wait, so little kids don't know how to hunt and shoot?
I would say this one dude is 13.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
still little to me, but
It is
yeah.
little. Yeah.
But if you learn proper like
it's-
care of how
Yeah,
to do it
it's like
safely,
10 to 13. No, they're doing gardening. So,
that's cool.
yeah, horticulture.
Is it with Dr. Hunt?
No, this is with Dr. Prosper. It's part of extension.
Do they all
Um,
get paid
the-
for it?
Do they
You
get
guys
paid?
get paid
Oh
for
yeah,
it
we
too.
get paid for like hourly wage.
Like 10
wage.
or 12 or
Pretty much,
Okay,
yeah. But
okay.
it's and it's like sleepaway camp too because they're staying in the honors dorm.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, and there's also high school students. So
So not the workout dorm. That's where you guys.
That's
all
where,
Yeah,
current
And the
students.
kids are in the brand new.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're in Harry Johns and Fox. So like it's high school and middle school. Middle school boys are they are just
They're amped up.
they are. I'm like, what
So
is-
like you got to put them on the 40-pound bags of soil and just make them move.
yeah, and they
Heavy-
love it.
Heavy lifting.
They love like getting their elbows in that soil.
Soil.
Yeah,
So
you're not
where are
supposed
they
to-
you're
planting
not
them
supposed
all?
to see
Where is
Oh,
it?
in the garden. Garden is that technically a garden? Wait, is that
Across
is this
the
way?
street,
Is it this way? I'm bad at directions.
Like where the
the
bike
gate.
trail is.
Yes.
Oh,
'Cause I
So it's
feel
that
like-
there.
Yeah, that's
And so what are they planting? Not to-
So they're like planting tomatoes, so different types of
Dude.
vegetables.
And then do we hand it out at the food pantry or how does that work?
Oh,
Like,
I have no idea. That's a great
I
question.
know in the past they have.
Maybe
so
they
it's
are.
like-
Maybe they do. I've just
They're
been
already this big?
supervising. Yeah. Well,
Because you can't do tomatoes from seed right now.
Yeah. That's what
Right.
I think they are. They're like already kind of.
A foot or two tall.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but they've been mixing soil. But I've been between them and then our high school students who are just doing strictly STEM. So and they're loving that.
And what is the STEM, like math?
Yeah, math, but math, science, technology. So they were supposed to do some drone stuff on the 19th, but that didn't pan out because of the rain. And
Okay.
but they've been doing robotics.
That's what I'm wondering. So,
Yeah.
and then they have enough hours to pay you that much.
Well, I mean, it's just like I think they said it's 17, but it's more than a bookstore, and the bookstore is kind of lame. No offense.
Well, we just had to buy a bunch of stuff from her yesterday. with
Oh,
the
yeah?
grant ending.
Yeah.
We have to dump 40,000. No, I'm sorry. We have a $40,000 grant. We had 3,000. We bought 2 computers. I think
Oh,
we're gonna come
good.
back and buy those 3 pads that are cheap.
Okay, cool.
Chromebooks.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, so they're buying all the technology.
What's that?
They're buying all the technology.
Oh wait, do they not replenish it if it's?
They suck at replenishing.
Do they really?
Yes. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I wish they had Macintosh. They have iPads.
Do they?
Do they? I'm asking.
Oh, they do online, but
Oh, yeah, we do.
So could we do that?
I'm sure you can. You just do it online. But if you're trying to use like discounts, that's not gonna work.
But how
out.
much is it for like a?
It's probably like regular price.
So
Well,
we
I
only
did
have-
see an email. There was like a sale going on. Like if you buy if you buy a MacBook, then you get some free AirPod Pros, and then if you bought, am I doing this right?
So that dude didn't really know. We asked if there was Macintosh. He's
Yeah.
like,
Talking
nah.
about
He
Mac.
probably doesn't.
That's what was.
It was online, so if there's a way that maybe do you guys have like a credit card or debit card that you?
We're
can
using
use
our
for-
grant number. That's the.
Oh
trick.
yeah, no.
So you can't buy.
Maybe
Macs
he
that
can
way.
order it. I don't. I can't.
No, that would be cool though if we could. If
Yeah.
that's what they just asked. Okay.
Um,
We have maybe still like 700 to 1,500. I know that doesn't buy much in a Mac, but I got this for $290.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
used Amazon, but we can't buy shit on Amazon. We have to buy it from like the bookstore
Yeah.
with our grant number, and then they give us a receipt.
I don't know how to. Oh, I
You
can
probably-
touch this, right?
Is it a touchscreen?
Is it not?
Probably. Just
See, this is why I don't like Macs. Sorry.
X out the
It doesn't pop up on. the
or
computer.
start rehearsing.
See, when I try to go there, because it's not here.
It's acting funny. It's on what you call it mode. So can you just go? It's just in the way.
Yeah, I don't know how to move that.
That is kind of funny.
Let's see, how else I'll do.
Like, can you flick it? Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah. Well,
Or just do it in like
I'll go out. And then
yeah, just
Oh.
do it. So I know it's not presentation mode, but that way it's just make it as big as we can.
Okay, see, yeah, because it's not there.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That way, if you're okay with it, I'm okay.
Oh yeah.
Then we went over the final paper because it is pretty
Okay, so
self-explanatory.
okay. Come on. Oh yay! Oh, huh? Hello.
That was
Whoa!
it presenting. Yeah, it does speak for you too.
Oh
so
wow, that's so cool.
It's creepy.
Yeah. See, let me not swear because it might pop up. I'm just kidding. Okay, so my field observation. Definitely this presentation made me a little bit more like hyper aware of my surroundings. I will say, like, when I go into places, of course, I'm not like oblivious to things. You know, you have like when you're in new places and you know that you're the physical minority, you mentally have that dialogue that's kind of like
Mhm.
a passing casual thought, but this one really made me like, you know, actually think about what I was seeing and like made me process my surroundings. So I will say that. Okay.
Mhm.
So I hope I organized this correctly, but based on what was in that I guess the instructions and mentioned the
The core
education.
competencies.
Yeah, so I looked
Yeah.
those up and I tried to guide my PowerPoint based on that. I didn't know if that's how you wanted it.
Yeah, that is like what we are supposed to be teaching you guys.
Oh,
from.
okay.
And that's fine. Like if it's showing that you
Okay.
understand it that way, that's what we have to prove to keep our accreditation.
Oh.
So it is kind of fun. But if you're proving that we've proved
Okay.
that you proved that we proved,
Because
you
you
know
said
it.
EPAs, so I didn't know if, you know, what specifically I was supposed to be looking for. So I just used these as my
Education practice standard. What does that even stand
policy and accreditation standards.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, so I was
for? See,
like,
I should know better, but they're not coming back till 2029. So I'm like,
oh, really?
we're accredited until 2029.
Okay, cool beans. All right. So I did mine at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Good old Walmart.
You
Local.
go try to buy a hunting rifle or something?
No. What did I even go in there for? I think
That would be awesome.
tooth pain medicine and groceries. So
Uh-huh.
pretty typical run. This is actually the Xenia one. I can just type it Walmart. 'Cause, you know,
They do sell guns. I'm
they
pretty
do.
sure. Right.
And I'm going to be talking about that in just
Right.
a minute.
Yes.
So, okay. So, I just thought I should give a little bit more background, provide a little bit
Yes.
more context of like, yeah, we are, you know, the majority of the area, the makeup based on what we see every day.
So it's
But here's
30% lower than, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no, go for it.
From the state of Ohio, it's 30% lower African American. I just noticed that. Instead of
Yeah.
13, it's 10. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
30% lower, really.
Oh.
About 25%. Sorry. I
Yeah, no, you're fine because I obviously didn't know this. I was really surprised about the Hispanic and Latino numbers, but again, like seeing it, like, oh yeah, right. So these are the top 3 that I saw. This is the 2022 census report on, of course, they interviewed families. If you're familiar with the census report.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, I did think there would be more of the indigenous population presence, only because of just like what I see in terms of like, you know, the museum over there. They talk a lot about, you know, the native population. And of course, I mean, I should have known better. Of course, there's lots of historical displacement. So we would not see those
Yeah.
physically present, or at least to like, I guess, to the naked eye, because there are a lot of like indigenous children who are like half, but, you know, that don't present entirely. So, but yeah, here's some background on population. I was kind of surprised about 2 or more races being present. So,
And you thought Latino would be higher or lower?
yeah, I thought Latino would be higher than
That
2
is
or
a
more
pretty
races.
low number, but
Yeah, but I
could
mean,
drive up from Cincinnati
yeah,
if there's workers,
okay.
or from Dayton if there's
Mhm.
workers, if that's what you're noticing.
Yeah, actually, I think that is what I am noticing.
Okay.
Because when I walk the speedway a lot,
Yeah.
so you know
Yeah.
all the like motorists, obviously gas station, getting coffee or like snacks. I do see a lot of Latino, Hispanic people, or just everyone in those like bright orange construction.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah,
so-
that might be it. They live in the big cities and
Mhm.
drive out here.
And obviously, a lot of people commute from, you know, neighboring areas, surrounding areas. Okay, but yeah, so this is the background of Xenia. I was pretty surprised. I'm still surprised about 10% for some reason. It feels a little bit, even though it's 10%, it feels like it's a lot more than what I thought. I thought it'd be a lot less. But okay.
Mhm.
All right, so I feel like this project definitely when I got into Walmart, it made me kind of like first like recognize the stereotypes that I already have, but stereotypes, I mean like preconceived ideas. So I kind of broke them down based on like social, environmental, and then my prior knowledge from experience. So for example, when I mean social, I'm talking about like Walmart. I think as a culture, I don't know if it's maybe just a generational thing, but like, the Target versus Walmart kind of deal. Like, you would never, it's a joke. Like, it's kind of like a joke that's been said around, but like, you would never go into Walmart with house shoes on and like a robe. Like,
But people do.
But they do, yeah. They do.
They
But
were like thongs and crap.
Exactly.
Like, both shoe thongs and weird thongs.
Exactly.
So.
And so it's like, people who not sometimes, but we associate certain stores with certain social economic classes. So when we think of Walmart, because it's such a bargain, always great low prices.
80% made in China, but yes. You're
Yeah.
82%.
I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
thought that was off.
It's all right. I wondered if you were on calls. It looked like an on-call thing.
It's okay. It's fine. They know I'm in class. I should turn that off.
I am
so
interested
sorry.
though.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Oh man, there's this kid. I'm so sorry to diverge, but there's this kid who's lactose intolerant, and he keeps eating cheese.
He probably loves cheese.
I do too, but like at the same time, you're not. I get to poop in my own room. I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's shitting himself.
He is like literally. He is sharing a bathroom with other people. The
He's blowing up.
He's blowing it up, okay?
Oh,
so like literally at lunch day, we had to stop him. Insert name here. What are you doing with that pizza? He said, no, it's okay. My stomach don't hurt no more. It will.
Where is he from?
I forgot what city, but they're all pretty local. So Dayton, some are from Xenia actually. But yeah, anyway, sorry to diverge. But he's a piece of work. He's so cute though, but like, please stop. Okay, environmental. So analyzing those stereotypes, like I just said, kind of like the people that I've actually seen. So what he just said about thongs, thonging it up from here, thonging it up at the bottom, with my actual
above their jeans.
Exactly.
Like, hey.
So okay, cool. And then also just thinking about the surrounding area, like we have a lot of people from. This area is definitely rural, so
because my wife mentioned moving closer to school, and like, I think we have better schools in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I hate to be judgmental like
Yeah.
that, but I'm like, I think we should stay in our neighborhood.
I think that's a good idea.
It's nice and diverse.
And then just
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. Pretty much you said it. And then also too, like I was saying, like prior knowledge from experience, how previous visits have kind of shaped my perception. Now, this time that I went to Walmart, I went earlier in the day. So
It's different.
actually, no, I typically go earlier in the day. I think this was like midday on a weekend. So it wasn't as calm as like the evening or as calm and slow as the morning. So this time there was a lot more people.
Yeah.
But they weren't like down my throat like they typically, not down my throat, but like
Interesting.
as
Maybe they finally got in trouble for it.
watchful.
Like,
Well, that's another thing, which I'm going to talk about later.
Okay. All right.
So, respond to contexts that shape your, so this is the other, I forgot.
Yeah, the ecological theory, like what formed you as a person that you're thinking this way.
Yep, I was trying to think of the name. It starts with a C, one of the concepts or components or competencies.
Oh, the core competencies.
Yes, that we're supposed to read. Okay, so there we go. So respond to contexts that shape our practice. So in this particular context, I was a customer.
Mhm.
And how does that shape practice? Well, it has a strong influence on my role in my environment. So it's not like if, I was in the field of social work, obviously I would be the one who would be doing a lot more interaction. My role would be essentially the main kind of moving force, as opposed to my role here is pretty passive. But okay, so now I'm going to talk about my initial observations. Obviously, the racial minority. And then during this time, like I was saying, it was a weekend, it was midday, like afternoonish, and there was a lot more people than I was used to, which is kind of surprising.
Mhm.
But it's the weekend. I guess people are like, yeah, it's noon or so, getting groceries. But one thing I definitely noticed was that it was really hard to find employees like throughout the store. And maybe that's a typical thing.
There's a worker shortage. for
Yeah,
sure.
and I'm typically used to like going to Walmart, like because I go in the evening or later on. Employees are
Stand
there typically, and they kind of like watch you, especially when you're in like the electronics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was kind of surprised, like pleasantly surprised slightly, and then also like not so pleasantly surprised about that because I needed something and I couldn't find anybody, and so what I realized too is that I don't know if COVID has something to do with it, but like the whole register. Anytime you go somewhere to check out, like with the person-to-person checkout, those lanes are pretty much closed, so they kind of push people into doing a self-checkout.
Self-check.
Now, I've never seen this. This was the first time that happened to me, but I'm checking out and there was, I needed help. I forgot something weird was happening with the self-checkout. And then like the store associate was like at the wall just watching me struggle. And I'm like, okay, so this is them in their little Walmart jacket. And so it's just like, in a way, I was a little rubbed wrong because it's like, why are you watching
Was
me
it an
so
old person too?
yeah, pretty middle
Okay.
age. So
Right.
I'm just like, okay, they see me and they're just watching and they're like trying not to be like
Called in.
obvious, but they are because I know that they're looking at me.
Yeah.
Right.
And they already have enough security stuff, but I'm
There's
not
like
worried.
5 cameras on.
Yeah, and so it was just the way in which they were surveilling me made me uncomfortable
Mhm.
because it's like, all right, fine, do your job, whatever, but
Mhm.
I need help. Like you see me struggling too, but
Right.
you're worried about if I was gonna steal, which was that was how I perceived the situation.
Mhm.
All right, so based on that experience that I just mentioned, I feel like my reaction to that situation pretty much depends on the environment, like the social environment.
Mhm.
Like applying knowledge of human behavior in the social environment. So I would say having like a bit of cultural competency because in a way I am the minority and the person who was surveilling me is a part of the racial majority. I didn't feel as if although I was a little butthurt, a little irritated, I didn't take that my frustration out on this person.
Like
I
yelling,
just
like, get over here. dude,
yeah,
what are
or
you doing?"
even like, I've seen, the bad end of how that interaction could be, calling them out, saying,
Yeah.
oh, is it because of my race or what have you?
Right. Right.
So yeah, cultural competency, I would say, I feel like I definitely had that in that moment. I did not behave in a way that would potentially offend. Also, another note that I didn't know how to work this into my presentation, but going into Walmart, there was this guy who had on what is it called? The Confederate flag, like a
Fatigues,
hoodie. Yeah, and so it was weird because it was in black and white, and I was looking at him as he was coming. I'm like, what flag is that? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I see the stars and bars. Okay, cool. And so I feel like in a way, like as I've gotten older, like when I first started to see these things, when I started college, I was definitely a bit more offended. But to an extent, I can kind of understand. Like we're closer to the South than
We are close to each other.
so
Michigan.
there's that cultural component, So I feel like that also is a part of like having an understanding in the social norms and area of behavior as such. So like the guns, like Walmart sells guns. I feel like it also depends on the area too, because like in the Walmarts that I used to go to, I didn't see guns. So
Yeah, I know. I feel like there's different ones that they sell them at. The more
Mhm.
country stores they sell hunting.
yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, because in the city, like in Milwaukee, like
Yeah.
And probably in Chicago they're illegal, so you
Mm.
can't sell it. But
Yeah.
I'm guessing, okay.
yeah. So and we're like 45 minutes from Chicago, but yeah, just like acknowledging the cultural differences and perspectives from that my own. So like seeing that guy in that hoodie, it was off-putting, but then again, like he and I did not have any direct interpersonal interaction. So, I mean,
He didn't like block you coming.
mhm,
to
yeah,
school.
exactly.
Get out.
So, yeah, exactly. So he didn't give off any weird, anything that would potentially give me a justifiable reason to like behave negatively. So, and because we are pretty much in the South, even though we're not, like Kentucky's right there. He could be a Kentuckian, or that really could be his family history is what I have been told, like, is the justification behind it. Even though I'm like, dude, your last name is like Kaczynski. You're people from Poland, like,
Right? You're like,
come on.
bro.
So, but anyways, but yeah, keeping in mind that like we are in a different area, the norms are different. So, although I may not agree with it, like the representation is different from what I represent, and as long as I have that in mind, I think I can, be a good human and do the jobs that are needed of me.
Mhm.
Okay, so this one I kind of struggled with it. So I was hoping maybe you could think of potential ways that I would be able to, or how this would be
Sure.
applied.
That's a tricky one and one of the hardest ones for every social work school to pass. So like most people, you need to get a 70 or 80 to pass it. And that means like the average on that assignment. So they take actually Dr. Winbush's assignment, for example. Like
Okay.
we have to use hers. And what it means is, and this is one of the hardest ones to explain, but like that we are doing our decisions in social work based off research. And I don't want to say peer-reviewed research, but there's that kind of research. If you guys have taken it yet, there's like statistically significant research. So then they give it another name too, because it's research that like should inform your practice, like that growing up in a food desert can affect people like mentally and behaviorally, and then also and knowing that obviously Walmart doesn't have social workers. I guess maybe in the corporate office they can have like OI. Is that what it's called? Is it organizational psychology? OP? IO, industrial organization. So they may have social workers that like work with the corporate guys and
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to do.
It probably pays well because like you could be IO and P&G and make like six figures.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And you could be a social worker and do it too, but like, yeah, it's, and then practice informed research. So like, as they see that they're adding good foods and fresh vegetables and have like ways to get good food to people, they're seeing results of like better communities and better relations and better, that's fine. So I don't even know if I'm explaining it well. Like if you even want to take a stab at it, I know it's like out there, but it's like research informed practice. And then your practice as a social worker also informs your research. Like we should look at racial disparities in mental health because it appears that there's not enough social workers for that 10% even in Xenia and 13% over the state of Ohio. We only have 5% of the psychologists are African American. So that's what like practice informed research would show me. And then I go back to research informed practice, like it plays off each other. So now we're researching that there's a higher need for social workers and psychologists that are independently licensed that can serve the communities. Because of that, we need to find ways to make, they call it a pipeline. I do hate that they call it a pipeline, as I always remember school to prison pipeline. But we're trying to do school to graduate school pipelines to have more social workers trained from HBCU. So there's more people that meet the needs and serve them. So that's my example. In terms of relating it here, for some reason my mind is drawing a blank right now.
No, that's fine because sorry.
Sounds like Jason on Friday the 13th. Like,
yeah, so I guess that might be my fault because I didn't know how you wanted to structure.
No, that's
thought
okay.
this
I
was-
mean, in a sense, you're already doing that. Like you said, you already know that you're in that type of a Walmart. You're not going to go in and try to like butt heads with the dude with the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Like that was your own practice informed research. You
Yeah.
know that you're in this
Oh.
area. You're not going to like
Yeah.
light it up or try
No,
to
no.
start shit or have a conversation on like
And
whatever.
I
It's-
don't know if that's just like, I think that just might very well just be a personality thing for me as well.
True. That's true.
Because if I were in a situation whereas like I was being directly targeted, I don't think I would have blown up either because I don't want to escalate the
Mhm.
situation.
That's how I am
where,
too.
You know,
That's
people,
exactly how I
someone
am.
could potentially get hurt. So I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
because it's so funny because it's like compared to where I was in Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, I had a lot more negative events racially. Like, I mean, I kind of was surprised that when I went to Walmart, like no one was surprised about seeing a black face.
But they did in Madison, Wisconsin.
They did, well, Stevens Point, but yeah, they
Okay.
were. And it's funny because they have like a growing Latino Hispanic.
Well, I was going to
community.
say, isn't that
And-
a very like
Yeah, and as well as a Hmong American during the 90s, a lot of people from like Laos and those areas that were like directly impacted during the Vietnam War. It took them like so long for them to be able to come to America legally, like in the 90s, even
Right.
when the war was in the 70s. Like the area is still ravaged by war, but still like
interesting?
yeah, I know, it's crazy. So, I mean, granted, when they came in, there was still, obviously, the community was upset. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling. But basically,
No, that's fine.
I feel like a lot in Wisconsin, it was very like, you noticeably like, oh, you're black or you're different, and I'm going to stare at you, as opposed to
Mhm.
like, here at this Walmart, like, everyone's doing their own thing. Gators greeted. The
Mhm.
only thing that I feel like I had an issue was with the person standing on the wall observing me, and he didn't help me because I was struggling. Like, I had 2 cases of water, and I'm like, pushing the little help button, and he's watching me, making sure I'm not like stealing.
Yeah, right.
But there's 5
You're doing-
cameras, so I mean.
I know. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely would say that, although compared to my previous experiences with even going Walmart out there, like, I feel like the issue that I had came from management, people that were, I guess, paid to do their job, but like how they did it, I didn't feel as if
Mm-hmm.
it was the right way. But,
Mm-hmm.
but anyways,
Which we're more vociferous about as our 18, 19, 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? When
Mhm.
we're younger, we'll like maybe speak out more, and then we realize the way the world works, and we're like, dude, they're making 8 or 10 an hour.
yeah,
Do I
like
really
it's
need-
not that deep.
like poor dudes.
Yeah, but I'm
not
like, please
making-
help me though.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, like, you
Mhm.
know, when to pick your battles, but also like we were saying in the environment, you know, how to respond. Because again, too, like, you know, I feel like as we, you know, mature, we understand that like people don't react the same way to, you know, things.
Mhm.
So you escalating something that, you know, didn't really need to be escalated, someone could take it to a whole nother level and potentially hurt you or harm you. You don't know what someone else's triggers are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's also important to be aware of,
Mhm.
especially if you're not from the area. You don't know how the public could potentially feel about
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Because I know I keep saying Wisconsin, but yeah, my previous experience, the social climate was a little bit tight, even though, I mean, like, there weren't that many people of color, but like, you know, there was that, I don't know how to describe it, especially amongst the older population. So yeah,
Mhm.
sadly.
Yeah, that is interesting. Is we're the closest HBCU to like that area.
Mhm.
Aren't
So maybe it's not a new, they're not
Yeah,
being so
yeah.
surprised.
But I was surprised by that stat though, that it's still
Yeah.
only 10%. Like you would think it
Oh.
would match the state of Ohio's 13%, right? 30%
No.
higher.
And I thought it was lower. So, but yeah, it was.
You thought it wouldn't be 1 out of 10. You're
Mm-mm.
like, okay.
I
interesting.
didn't.
Right. Well, it might only be 1 out of 10 because we got 2,000 in-person students at Central State. Who knows? They're like vote
Absolutely.
here and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that
Mhm.
might be why it's.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
I didn't think
throwing it out
about
there.
it.
But that's kind of practice informed
Yeah.
research too, but just like knowing the stuff and then implementing it as we see fit around here. is-
So number two, or I'm sorry, not number two, competency 2.18. That's how they're organized. I didn't
Mm.
understand
Mhm.
why or how they're organized. But yeah, in this sense, I don't think economics applied because Walmart is a multi-trillion, $1 million corporation.
Right.
So there's no way in which I would be, I would be contributing to Walmart, but yeah, I don't think that's,
Like if we were in a poor area, maybe they'd watch you even harder too.
yeah.
Are they
Oh,
tougher in a poor town.
Is
that's-
it?
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. I was
Inner
like,
city Cincinnati.
oh,
where they,
okay,
like,
cool. That makes sense.
Check every damn receipt.
But I feel like I did engage in like my behavior and how I carry myself. Definitely did engage in an advance in social well-being because, like I said, I was displeased.
Mhm.
So I didn't, create an environment in which I made others feel unsafe as
Mhm.
well as myself. So I feel like that was done. So, but yeah, I think I'm done. Here's my works cited.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good setup. I do like the statistical numbers. I didn't know that about Xenia. I wonder when the last census was.
That was July. Of
It
last
was?
year.
Okay, so
Mhm,
it's-
so
it's-
I think there's one coming up right. 'Cause isn't it every year?
I know it was every decade is the big one.
Oh, it's every decade.
That's what I think.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, was it 2010 or 2020? But you're right. They may do something
Yeah. Was this said July 2022?
micro. Okay.
Yeah.
Which
Because Xenia's not that big, so does it matter on the
It's-
size? Do they do it every?
it's probably just like you said. It is an interesting way though to like think about how stuff is going on and like the rapid fire example, how they like I guess they no longer are here because of what they did with college night. They didn't advertise it
Oh,
to
yeah,
Wilberforce or Central State,
Yeah.
but Dayton and
They
White
probably
State.
lost a lot of business.
I would think so.
clients.
I think that like people higher up on the boards did do that.
That's not nice. Well, yeah, that's my presentation. Hope it made sense. Does anybody have any questions? Or
No, it did make sense.
sorry if I rambled.
No. It's good. It's good to like reflect on it because sometimes we like to maybe take it and run through the motions, and it's nice to just think about it with the statistics. I feel like that was the research informed practice that, like you said, that's because like that's like knowing your community. Like, would it have been different in the inner city of Cincinnati? Would it have been different in Dayton area? Would it have been different from your hometowns? I don't know. You can tell I didn't eat lunch.
I actually have to go soon.
That's fine. I wondered if you still wanted to see, and we can watch it Friday too, part 3.
But I will be here the whole day Friday, but I have no.
Then we'll just show it Friday.
Okay.
It's just, if you gotta go, just go.
Yes. But oh my goodness, it's so fun because it's like I feel bad. Maybe is that ageism where anyone that's younger than you, you're like, oh baby,
Right.
high school kids, they're so excited about their robots.
It is weird because
I think I wanted to be.
I still identify as an 18-year-old, but I'm 45. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's
um,
It's so funny because the preteens are like, I guess maybe for my introvert, like I think you're one of them. Like,
Oh, really?
Dude,
that's kind of cool though. What's the diversity like on these camps?
in terms of like racially or
All of it.
Oh well, okay. So it's interesting because a lot of the students are being recruited from Dayton.
Okay.
So, and also some staff workers have their family members, extended family members. So primarily, a lot of them, it is African American. But diversity in terms of like what they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that a lot of the kids aren't interested in it. agriculture.
In farming, right?
Yeah.
Well, they
and-
probably are. They allowed to have a phone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so they just be on their phone the whole time.
Well, no, we're not. They're not supposed to be on it, so they're pretty
Okay.
attentive. But it's just like their eyes are kind of glazed over.
Uh-huh.
I feel so bad
Right.
because like the lectures, they have lectures, and I'm like, what do you think a 10-year-old is gonna know about agriculture?
But that's where they get all their money from.
Yeah.
It's USDA sourced funding, so they get $100,000 to run this camp, to pay you, to subsidize them, to buy meals, to provide housing. And it's
But then
$100,000.
They're really invested when you do like physical activities or just
Right.
play a game, like do some type of interactive thing is
Yeah.
what really gets them. Like it was so cute seeing this little 10-year-old, like I forgot we were just passing a ball around and answering questions. We even do like the Kahoot. Do you know what Kahoot is?
No, oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
little- so like they're really engaged in that.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's
Because they have a phone.
yeah.
Right.
Just got the pretty colors and stuff. So they were really happy. And then seeing them code to do so they built robots
Uh huh.
and then they had to like go to the computers and like make code to tell it what to do.
Oh my God.
Download the code into
Whoa.
the robot. It was so cool. I was like, wow.
That is kind of creepy. That's the shirt I bought, isn't it? We bought 10 of those.
Oh, that's
Were they the ones 75% off? I wanted to clear out the
Probably.
50 and 75.
Oh,
Just,
Super gonna be mad then. 'Cause
Are they?
When are we gonna clearance stuff again?
No idea.
Uh-oh.
Most
but if we don't
restaurants
spend
are-
this money, our grant will be lowered by however much.
Oh, I mean, if you want to give away some stuff.
We are buying them to give them away.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. We're not buying them for ourselves.
Okay, I'm
I might wear one,
There you go.
but
You also got those. I saw the lanyards. I know they're lanyards. Did you get one? Yes.
so like, is there other recruitment stuff we could get? We have like 700 to 1,800 left. I
Let me
can't.
let me get a coffee mug.
I want more Nalgene's. I want more of these.
Yeah, the one with the.
They're like
the mountain.
$25, dude. I'm like,
The one with the pirate. It's so cool.
it is cool. Because I used to listen to A Tribe Called Quest, and their album was Marauders.
Oh yeah.
Midnight Marauders.
Mhm.
Okay, no, I'll take
They're like, where you at? So we're getting more of these. We bought 2 big computers. That sucks they don't refill it. Like,
Yeah,
is it because they don't think they'll move it, I guess? They're like, well.
I have no idea. It's just so much.
And then that dude got a new hairstyle yesterday. Is that terrible that I mentioned it? Am I an asshole?
No. We don't
If
know
you
why.
only, if you only.
Well, as he was ringing me out, and then he went like this. I was like, what the And I shouldn't be like, there's my judgmentalness. You know what I mean?
He was like, oh, we got a new hairdo. Like,
No, because you don't like.
yeah. we don't
Is this streamed?